what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Tom Frizzle, and I'm from originally from Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, and but now I live in I actually live in Carmel, Indiana, which is a suburb of Indianapolis.
All right.
And
And real quickly, do you ever watch that show, The Middle? You ever seen that?
the middle, uh, no, I'm not
It's
familiar
a
with
funny
it.
little. It's a sitcom, but it's just about a family living in the middle. you know,
Oh,
everybody.
really? Okay.
Yeah, and
Is
it's
that on now?
yeah, they've had 10 seasons, I think, but they're just about family life, and they really remind me of my family. I just wondered if you saw it. Since it's about the area you
No,
live
I'll
in.
have to look for it. I'll look for it.
All right. And how did you originally hear about my lessons?
I found you on YouTube. I was looking around on for piano lessons, and when I found you, I said, I gotta try it, and then I got hooked on it.
Yeah. Well, thank the Lord for YouTube because that's everyone else's answer as well. What did you like most about learning from my method?
What I liked most about it was, you would take sections of the song, like from the start to page one, whatever, and then you take each measure by measure, and I like that. It was easy for me to follow, and then eventually I could get through the whole song. So yeah, I mean, and that's the same for your method as well as the sight music.
Right. And that's excellent because that's the key. What you just said. A lot of people are going to watch this video, and I hope they pay attention to what you just said there.
Sure.
That you take little pieces and you work on little sections because the what people do is they tend to look at the whole. They try to attack the whole song at once, and that's frustrating. You don't
Yeah.
have any success there. But if you can have success with one or two measures, like
Yeah.
it's only one or two measures, but I did it,
Yeah.
and tomorrow I can do it again with another measure,
Exactly.
and yeah, so that's a one everything what you said there, everyone should take note of. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
Well, the one thing I don't like about other online lessons is they don't give you the whole picture. It's like try this, try that. Um, they give you half a song or whatever, and you can get it all. Uh, Unless you get into this expensive, deal of joining and paying monthly amounts,
Yeah,
which I don't know. I mean, you probably have that too, but it just
yeah, I
seems
do.
like. But some of them are a little bit. I don't follow them. Like you're easy to follow,
Yeah,
and I think that makes a big difference.
and I have to credit Tom all of the guinea pigs I call them. For 20 years, I taught 50 students a week, and real people. I mean, I would sit next to them on the bench for 20 years. I did that, and you learn a thing or two about what helps
Yeah.
people and what doesn't, what they need to do.
Right?
Where they're gonna to maybe get discouraged at, and I kind of that's
Yeah.
always going through my mind. It's always in my mind. I always have those years of experience of what people need, and I kind of was training myself as a teacher during all those years as I was teaching everyone else. And I think that's what these current teachers are missing today on the
Yeah.
internet is they never actually taught a real person. They went straight to video and they're
Yeah.
showing what they know how to do in the way, and they're
Exactly.
missing
Exactly.
that human element. And it's
Yeah.
the only way to get that is to actually teach real people. And so I credit all my guinea pigs, I call them, from over the years for that.
Well,
Um,
another thing I like to say about that is that you mentioned that you take a song that everybody sees and can see on a video of a pro playing it, and then you put that into a whole you know um, music uh, sheet with music in your method, and I like that. I mean, I don't think many online teachers do that. They'll give you something, but they don't give you the same.
right, and it's because it's so time consuming for most people to do that. Here's where the gift that I was given from God is. They call it perfect pitch. I don't like that term because it's not perfect. But if anything I hear, I immediately know what the notes are. And I don't know how I
That's
do it. I don't
amazing.
know how it happens. It just does, and it's been that way since I was a
Yeah.
little kid.
Yes.
And that really speeds up the time for me to figure it out and the accuracy, so I don't have to spend. Now I do
Yeah.
spend a lot of time on them, but I don't have to spend weeks. Something will take me a
Right.
few hours sometimes, and that's the biggest gift I think that allows me to do what I do and to give you guys authentic arrangements. And that's the only way I know to do it. And when I was like 5 years old, I remember going from the kitchen where our record player was, or the dining room, and putting down the needle on the record player, listening to a bit, picking it up, going back into where the piano was in the living room, and writing down some of the notes. And little
That's
did I
amazing.
know that was prophetic of what I would be doing many years later.
That's
But
amazing.
I love doing that, and I have to credit you guys for all your. I don't know if you've ever. It seems like you've hired me to do a request. Have you
Um,
or
I
not?
think, I don't know that I have.
Okay.
I, because
Yeah.
you have so much music to follow that, I mean, and if there is something I like, I look and you haven't, like I just looked the other day and I saw a song I really like is, um, Crazy, by,
Oh, crazy. Yeah, Patsy Cline.
Patsy Cline. I'm going to get the list on that. So,
Oh, awesome.
the
Yeah. So
whiteboard.
maybe you haven't hired, but there's been a lot of people who've done it over the years. And the whole library, I've been doing this for 18 years online, and every lesson on there is from the hired request. So I'm not picking it. These great members
Oh,
out
that's
there
right.
who are finding arrangements and stuff that they can't find anywhere else because they've already researched. They're not going to pay for it if they can get it for free. So they research something, try to find a particular arrangement they want and they don't find it. So they hire me to do it. So all of the arrangements and versions on the website are unique already. You can't find them
Okay.
anywhere else. And that's not because of me. That's because of everyone else of the great taste you guys have. And I've been
Hmm.
educated with music from all the requests because there's lots of
Yeah.
artists I would have never heard of or listened to had it not been for you
Right.
wonderful members giving them to me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
I'd say 10.
All right. Well, thank you for
I'll
that.
give you a 10.
Appreciate
I
it.
mean, I think you do a good job. I've always been, you know, uh, enjoying learning music from you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Would you recommend a family member or friend to my lessons? And if so, why?
Yeah, except for family members. Right now, I don't have any family members that play piano. So if I
Yeah.
did, I would do that. I would try
All
to,
right.
I would try to help them through your lessons, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be. Yeah. And I've actually had people do that. I've had people sign up for the lifetime on my site because they are a teacher and they use my resources to teach their own students.
Really,
And
really.
I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that is neat. I wonder how many teachers are doing that. Well, Tom, do you have any questions for me or anything I can do for you now?
No, I think that's probably about it. I'd like to get a copy of that crazy song.
Oh yeah. Hey, how about I
Whiteboard.
send? How about I send you? You mean the PDF of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I have PDF sheets for every lesson on the site, and for anyone considering a membership, you can download the sheets for any all the hand drawn sheets I've done. They're all available for download. So I will.
Yeah, I am a member and I actually have two sheets that I haven't used yet for a while. So I
Okay.
could
And do you would you rather me just send you the sheet or give you a sheet credit?
no, just send me the sheet if you've got my
I'll
email.
do that. Sure. I'll do that after this. And Tom, have you done a Google review for me yet?
No, I haven't. I
Oh, I
will.
would really appreciate if you would do that. This is something that's supposed to really help me with what they call the search engine optimization on my
Okay.
website so
More
I'll be found.
terminology.
And I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to send it to you right now. I'm also going to send you that sheet. Evan,
Okay.
if you'll look for crazy.pdf, you should find it. And
Okay.
send him that sheet. And I'll give you that Google review. And you just type in, kind of what we've been talking
Okay.
about here. It'd take 2 minutes. And I would
Okay.
really appreciate that. It'll help me out. But Tom,
I'll
thank
give
you
it
for
to you.
meeting with me today. It was great to finally
You're
meet you.
welcome, Sean. Keep it up. I appreciate your time and I'm glad that I could meet you personally. So
Yeah.
thanks
And
again for everything.
if you ever need anything, you can let me know. We can do this again, or I'll give you my phone number. You can call me. We can talk about whatever if you need help with anything at all.
I have sent you emails in the past and you've always answered them.
Oh,
And
good. Well,
I was happy for that.
I, I can't say I've been 100% on that. I'm trying to do a lot better these days, but I'm glad I always have responded to you. Thank you, Tom. We'll
Okay.
talk to you later.
Thank you, Sean. Take care.
Not yet, Evie. Sit down. It's all right. It's all right. Let go. Hey, Tom. How are you? I I can't hear you. What'd you say, Evan? Okay, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great.
I was, okay.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for doing this. And I'm sorry we weren't very prepared to help you get that audio going.
That's okay. You got me going.
We'll remember that for next time. My son, Evan, he's behind the computer. No, he's the tech guy. He knows all that
Sure.
stuff. These youngins, they can do all that stuff.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining me today. I recognize your name there's certain names that just pop out to me from emails and everything, and it's really neat to be putting a face with the name now. And so good to finally meet you. How long has it been since you've used my lessons?
Well, it's been years.
Like,
I can't,
you
I
think
can't
maybe
remember.
5 years or more?
Oh yeah, probably because it's probably been about maybe 5, 7 years that I took some piano lessons and I for about a year and I quit them because I couldn't keep up with the lessons
Hmm.
with the weekly lessons. And so but I wanted to play more pop music, so I found your channel and I said, this is good because I wanted to read music
Hmm.
and I was still pretty unable to read music, and you made it easier to play without reading the music. And I could play songs as they sound.
Yeah.
When you hear recording, most of the sheet music is not exactly the same. So
Right. Right.
that's
Well,
what I
you're
like
just
about it.
so far you're a walking commercial for me. That's yeah. Those are the points that we're hitting. And the reason I'm doing these testimonials, I've never worked on the business side of my website ever. I've only just put videos on YouTube. I've never paid for advertising. Never. Well, maybe once in
Right,
a while, but never anything substantial. Never looked at metrics. Never looked at anything like that that you're supposed to
right.
do. Us
Yep.
musicians tend to be a disorganized kind of group. So, and they told me I need to do these testimonials, and I thought, well, that sounds good, but I felt like I might be overwhelmed listening to to all these every day and talking to everyone. But I've actually loved it. It's been so life giving instead of being overwhelming. I just have enjoyed it so much. And
Right.
getting to meet you guys and put a face with the name is so fun because you guys say you feel like you know me, and you do. If you watch my
Oh
video
yeah.
lessons, you do because there's not much to me. I'm just a
No.
family guy, loves music, love drink coffee and watch football, and
Right.
so there's not much there. Love the Lord, and
You're
it's
gonna
just
wear a
it's
hat.
great.
I'm gonna wear a hat too.
Great, awesome, yeah. So where are you from here?
Well, I'm originally from Chicago, but now I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, all right. Did you guys have a good football day yesterday? I didn't see the score on your game.
Oh, the football here is we are the uh Indianapolis Colts, and
Oh,
they
you're
aren't doing.
okay. Oh, not Chicago. Okay, I was just wondering about.
No, you're
So
talking about the
who do you
Bears.
pull for then? Who do you pull for then?
Well, I'm kind of in between, but I've now lived in Indiana for quite a while, so I'm become a Colts fan, but I'm really not a Colts fan because they can't win.
That's tough. Yeah, it is. They had a good run there when I was growing up. But anyway, so getting back to lessons here, did you take? It sounded like your lessons were recently. So did you have lessons when you were a kid at all? Did you have traditional music lessons then or not?
Not when I was a kid. I took them mostly when I was older, and
Okay.
like I
All
said,
right.
probably been 7, maybe 8 years ago that I took piano lessons with a teacher, at a local piano store. And
Sure.
it was okay. It was mostly classical pieces.
Right.
But again, every week I had to go back and I had to know the lessons and I was busy. I was working at the time. I'm
Yeah.
retired now, so
Yeah.
I still don't have any time.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
do have I did do that. Um, Last couple of years I took some online lessons, which was also a classical
Right.
arrangement. But I didn't want to get too far into classical, so
Yeah.
and I also didn't have the time to spend all the time. Where your channel, I got my own schedule. I can do what I want. I can practice what I want, and
That's
it
great.
makes it
Yeah.
easier.
Excellent.
I do
So
like
yours, go ahead.
I do like to read music, and I have perfected somewhat reading music, and I like to apply that with some of the stuff that you've brought because that actually got me more into reading music.
Sure.
Because once give you example like what's the one song? Maple Leaf Rag. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I watched absolutely. I watched you play it, and I got your sheet, And I followed your sheet and I said, now I can understand how the music works together. So, now I can play by notes. I'm not very good at it, but, I still, again, I have a hard time memorizing music. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Excellent. So I'm, you talked about them wanting to teach classical lessons and note reading. In defense of those teachers, that's the only thing out there for us. Because
yeah,
when I was a young guy starting to teach, that's really the classical tradition. It like hasn't changed in 200 years.
no,
We still
no,
push the note reading and still push the classical, and that's okay if that's the way you want to
yeah,
go. But
right,
many people just want to play, the fun songs they hear on the radio. They don't want to play
right,
Bach or Beethoven necessarily, and there's not
right.
really anything for them. And if they do find sheet music, like you said, it's not like the original. It's this kind of elevator music thing
Oh,
with the
yeah,
melody in
yeah,
the right hand. So, yeah, so you're a testament to everyone who asks me, can I do it as an adult? Am I too old to start now? Do you have something you
yeah,
have to do as a kid or you can't do it? Absolutely not.
yeah.
Definitely
That's
that would
true.
have helped to start earlier, but you do not, especially in music, you don't have to start as a
Right,
kid to be able to do it. You really don't. In fact, all your years of living on this earth, you're hearing music. You're without knowing it, you're kind of training your ear and you're learning things, you're hearing things, and
yes,
you're automatically
yes.
training your ear and you're just putting something to it when you finally take lessons. So my tablature system, when you went to it, was it something that uh, was difficult at first? Did you look at this and go, "Man, this is weird," or did it immediately click for you? How was the transition to my? When I say the tablature system, I'm talking about the letters on the whiteboard as opposed to, notes.
Well, when I first, okay, maybe this gives you some history how long I've been around because you used to use the different whiteboards. You used to have the
Right.
music arranged differently
Sure.
than you do now.
Hmm.
And I remember at some point in time you changed to a new format on that. So that's kind of where I started. And but I thought it was easy to follow because um, I liked the music and I could understand where you were going with it because the way you played it. And you did like page one, page two, whatever, and each one I follow, and I found it pretty easy to do. I knew, like I said, I never played as a kid, but I my mother played, and I had piano in my family, but I didn't
Right.
follow it until I finally woke up, and now I gotta say back then I was able to follow really good, and I think probably my advice to other people, and I know you've given it to them, is take an easy song to begin with. Don't go with the
Right.
hard ones because the
Right.
hard ones, it's harder to get there to get the speed and everything
Yeah.
too. So
And you risk something. You risk not being able to do it the way you want to, and then feeling like a failure. When really you're not a failure. You just try to jump ahead. You gotta stick with what
right,
you can do for a while. Play a lot of easy songs. I say that all the time, and you guys get tired of hearing it, I'm sure. But it's such an
yeah,
important thing. I don't want anybody to miss it.
yes.
So as as you've kind of switched to my style with the tablature, and you're learning that, what do you start with? What are the first songs that you went to on the website?
I had to look back because it's been a while. I tell you, one of the Piano Man,
Oh
the
yeah.
Loud
Oh,
Piano Man,
excellent. Excellent.
that was Ain't Misbehaving. That was
Oh
another
yes.
one that
Oh, Fats Waller.
yes, I like that one. Like I say, Maple Leaf Rag, Last Date,
Oh
and
yeah.
one of the
I have to do
yes,
it.
and one of the Christmas songs was "I'll Be Home for Christmas." That caught
Okay.
my eye quite a bit. The way you put it together. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, and there's probably Blueberry Hill. Got to remember
Oh,
that.
good one. Yes. Yes.
And
Fats Dominoes.
you are so beautiful, Joe
Oh
Cocker.
wow. You play everything, Tom, don't you?
Well, I try. Those
Yeah.
are some of my favorites, but you know
Yeah.
what? Today probably a lot of the younger generation doesn't like as much the old music. So I don't know.
Well, I'm finding. Let me give you a little encouragement there, Tom, because I think a few years ago you would be right, and that would be my feeling as well. But if you go into to stores today, at least around my area in Texas, at even other areas when we visited others. Actually, when we visited Boston, it was this way. But you go into these stores, and these kids are in there working in the stores, and they've got records playing. and they've
Yeah.
got the old stuff that we love. That's the good stuff, we call it. And they're choosing which album to put on there. And I
Really
think the
good.
the people that own these businesses have found if the kids get to pick what albums they love, they get into it. So they're putting on all these albums. They have a big thing, and they'll go and
Yeah.
pick, and they'll go, oh, I like this one. And I even asked, this 20-something kid, I was like, so do you know what all these? They go, oh yeah, love these, love the Beatles, love Wings, Paul McCartney, and
Yes.
Jim Croce, and all these, and they know all the music. And there's
Yes.
this resurgence in the old stuff, and you see a lot of these covers on YouTube now. These kids are playing Billy Joel stuff, and
Yeah.
they're choosing that. It's not they're being made to do it. Somehow the way it's working, there's this resurgence in the young population, and this has just been in the last few years I've noticed. So, little encouragement there for us.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So it sounds like your interests are all over. You're playing a lot of different things, which is wonderful. You're probably playing what you like, what you want, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. And I heard you even say that, I'm not too good or whatever. But that's not the point. The point is that we're having fun and enjoying the music, and
Yeah.
we get out of this performance mindset that I have to be,
Yeah.
this thing or I'm a failure, which is not true. It doesn't sound like you're doing that. It sounds like you're just playing what you want, moving on. You play, like you
Yeah.
said, whenever you want to get on, you get on.
Yes.
And that's working for you. And you're doing it later in life. You don't have to do it as a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I heard you also mention something that is key that I've heard everyone say is you like that my arrangements that I do are authentic. They're going to be as close as I can possibly get them to the original, whatever I'm going off of, whatever
Yes.
someone hires me to do.
Yes.
If they give me an Elton John live version from 1981, I want to try
Yep.
to nail everything Elton's doing. And I'm not 100% correct, but I think I get pretty close, and that's my main goal. Do you care about that? Do you notice that?
Oh, yes, I do. I actually admire that because you even give a link to a YouTube link to listen to how you wrote it and or how you prepared it. And so, yeah, that's what I want to play like I hear it. I don't want to hear the fancy versions and all the other concoctions of how some music's made. So yeah, I really like the way you do that.
Good.
And
Yeah. And I
you're
hope
pretty
that, go ahead.
no, I was going to say you're thorough.
I always tell people go back and listen, and like you said, I give them the link or the video to go to because I hope they'll go back and listen to it because that's the original, that's the source, not me. And I hope they'll go
Right.
back and do that. And I kind of go out on a limb on doing that because then I'll bring out all the, you missed this or you whatever. But I haven't
Right.
really had that. People have listened to it and thought, because I kind of worried, I'm going to get people picking it over and trying to find mistakes if I actually
Yes.
give them the link but it hasn't been that way. Everyone's been really appreciative of being able to go back and listen to the original and then really, trying to sound authentic with it. And that's something I've always done from the very beginning. I notice there's really not anyone else on YouTube who does it regularly. Every once in a while, you'll find someone do one song or something like that. And I think it's because people are afraid it's going to be too hard or something. I don't know, but I've always found that people's desire can far outweigh, if they really want to play something, that's going to make them practice and work hard to it. And you can overcome
Exactly.
some obstacles just because you love a song so much. So
Right.
I want to get to, yeah. So when you're listening to music, just a little bit about you. I'm curious about you as well. What do you listen to? What is your favorite thing? Like, do you listen to records? Do you just have Apple Music or something or Spotify?
I have well, I listen to I have a Sirius account,
Okay,
XM radio,
sure.
and I like to listen. Probably your members, your viewers are probably not going to be really too popular with doo-wop.
Oh
I
no,
love
they
doo-wop.
are. You'd be surprised, Tom.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
love those. I love the 50s and 60s.
yeah.
And I also, for a few years, I was playing guitar with another friend of mine at nursing homes. We were playing,
Oh, that's great.
the 40s music.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of good 40s music.
there is, and
Let
I
me call
love
you
that you're.
sweetheart.
Yeah, there is. That's probably the height of American music was those 30s and 40s right there to me. And I
Right.
know, you get the 50s and the rock and roll, and I love rock and roll, but as far as pure
Yeah.
musical composition and creativity, the 40s there was the decade I think that America reached its pinnacle of composers,
Yeah.
Gershwin and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just
Sure.
Yeah, it's incredible. I wish I had more requests for that stuff, and I bet they love it at the nursing home when you play that
Oh, they
stuff.
did. We had fun. I had fun doing that. We don't do that anymore. We practice together sometimes, but
Oh, that's good.
it is what it is.
So you
But I
play like,
also
would you say it's a
go
band that
ahead.
you play in, or is it just a
Well,
couple of buddies getting together?
it used to be a group of like five ladies and two guitars and we would go around and the ladies would dance and we'd play a lot of different songs. We were called the Follies, so it was
Ah,
kind of a neat group, and we really had a lot of fun. But over time, things didn't go well with everybody. You know how people get changed, and so we
yeah,
had to break up. But you know what? I still love doing it, and now I don't do anything but just play with myself or a friend of mine.
yeah.
And but I also want to mention that I also am a member of your uh, sight reading site,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
yeah. That's on Cheek. Yes,
I don't know I don't know how much you do with that, but I also like going back to the classical. I can go back there at any time and pick
excellent.
up
Well,
on
Tom,
something.
it's funny you mentioned that because we're working on merging those two sites to where all the content's
Okay,
on one. So, I mean, you could still go to SeanCheek.com, but you'll actually end up being on webpianoteacher.com without
okay,
even realizing it. But where all the content will be, one place where everyone can do both ways because I've never been down
yeah, I
on
like
reading
that.
music. Some people say, "Oh, you're cheating and you're thinking reading music is bad." It's not bad. It's great. It's just a different way to do it. There are a lot of people on the site
Right?
that say if they didn't find my lessons, they wouldn't stop playing. They wouldn't be playing today. So I figure it's
Yes,
better that they do it, my way that
yeah.
I've kind of come up with, and they play something, and they instead of never playing at all. So that's my idea. It's just a different way of doing it. But
Well,
yeah, moving those.
I've always wanted to read music, and I think you helped me with that on that site because now you're explaining the actual notes and the chords.
Yeah,
Well, you actually mentioned the chords also in the other mode of music that you display.
right.
So, you know,
And Tom, you could check out because I redid all of those 100 boot camp lessons. They're on
uh
webpianoteacher.com in a more recent form. So
oh,
I
did you?
have redone those, and it's the same sheets, but I just the technology got better, so I redid all of those. So those
Yeah,
100 boot camp lessons are on webpianoteacher.com as well. And
okay,
again, they aren't teaching specific songs; they're teaching you the skill of sight
yeah,
reading
right,
because just
right.
learning a song reading music isn't going to teach you how to read music.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it won't. People think that it will. It's a learning the skill and then you can apply it to anything. That's why I do those 100 lessons that way.
right,
So that and call them boot camp because you got to work, like you're at boot
yeah,
camp. But once you do go through it, then you apply that to when you go out and get sheet music. Then it should work for you. But yeah,
right.
so I want to get to these questions here before I run out of
Okay,
time. And they might feel a little repetitive, like we've already said them a little bit. If you wouldn't mind, just do it again for our videographers because they'll be looking at the end of
okay,
the video for this, and I appreciate it.